Hi there everyone, and welcome to my first Let's Play video featuring Jumpman Jr. I've never done one of these Let's Play videos before, mainly because I think that it takes a particular kind of personality to make Let's Play videos successful, and I don't think that I'm one of them. But I decided to do one for this because I feel like it does better justice to this great game. I think that the Jumpman series is one of the greatest underappreciated 8-bit games of its time. Now, I am cheating by doing the voiceover after the fact, and I'm also following a loose script because I'm not much of an improviser. That's why I can never play jazz piano. But I'm making up for that by doing some more post-production kind of stuff to make it more interesting. Hopefully more interesting anyway. So here we go. Jumpman Jr. was released in 1984 by Epix, the same company that put out Winter Games and Summer Games and a couple of other Olympic-style games for the great .8, .1 Commodore 64. This is a sequel to their game Jumpman, which I remember playing at my friend's house, and I liked it a lot. So when this game came out for the ColecoVision, I bought it, and it remains one of my favorite games for that console. I'm doing this on a ColecoVision emulator on my computer. Now, you'll notice that when I first started this up, that there was a speed option of 1 through 8. I started this one on speed 3, which is the speed that I learned to play the game on. The higher numbers are slower, so you have speed 4, and here's what speed 5 looks like. And speed 6. And obviously, at those speeds, you have more time to react to the bullets and to other obstacles, but A, that gets pretty boring, and B, it decreases your ability to get the most score, because even though everything in the game goes faster or slower, depending on the speed that you choose, the bonus timer goes down at the same rate. On the other extreme, you can also play on speed 1, but to me, that's a lot more tricky, because there's just not a lot of time to react to things, and it's much harder to stop in exactly the right spot. So, I generally don't ever play on speed 1. So really, speed 2 feels the most comfortable for me, so I'm going to run the game down on speed 2. The great thing about this game is that the gameplay and the controls are very easy to understand, but each stage has a different sort of obstacle or challenge to it. In the first stage, you get introduced to the mechanics of the game and some of its behaviors, such as the loose tracking bullet, the ropes that you can go up and down, and the fact that certain bombs that you pick up will cause things to appear or disappear. It's a decent introduction or a reminder for those that played the original Jumpman to the game concept. After that, you get into this fire stage, which puts these random fires in your path depending on which bomb that you pick up. Now, the trickiest thing about this stage is all the bombs up at the top, because if you don't see the one enemy bullet on the screen somewhere, then it could actually be off the screen and off the top of the screen. So it's a roll of the dice whether or not you accidentally run into it off the top of the screen or not. Otherwise, the level is pretty straightforward once you figure out where the fires are going to pop up. Now, the one flaw to the level is that if you pick up one bomb in particular, that bomb right there, and then you die, like I did in the later part of this Speed 1 run, it's practically impossible to get any remaining bombs on the bottom level. You have to basically put yourself into a spot to try to get hit by a bullet, and then hope that it will allow you to land on one of the bombs below to change the fires, or to grab the last bomb, because if you're in the middle of dying and you had grabbed the last bomb, then it considers that a clear of the level and you don't lose a life. And since this is just the second stage, it's probably just better to cut your losses and start over. This third stage is a pretty straightforward level. I guess they decided that the mechanic of moving up and down the moving ladders was too difficult to add any random bullets into the mix, which I think is too bad, really, because I feel like it would be better to have bullets in there to make the level not so scripted. It's not like you can get trapped on the ladder. You can always jump off to the side somewhere, and then you just have to go through the level more carefully. But whatever. That's how it goes. The level name for you unobservant types was ladders spelled backwards, which I guess would be Sredal, or maybe Stradal, or something of that sort. Okay, I think that Hellstones is probably the second hardest level in the game. There are those 4 stones that you can see there that are constantly falling and following you around. And 2 of them slowly penetrate through the platforms, and 2 of them don't unless that platform slopes and they get turned around. Otherwise, they have to fall within gaps. Now, in and of itself, that doesn't make it very difficult, but it just makes it harder to get the bombs up at the very top, especially if you separate the Hellstones too far apart. Then, and yeah, see, they're just very persistent. That was just a tough situation for me to get out of. But anyway, as you get up to the top, it just becomes much more difficult to find the right window to make it so that you can safely go to the top without having the Hellstones appear from the bottom. It's just rare for me to get through that stage without losing at least 1 life, and it's strange because of how the difficulty of ladders compared to the difficulty of this is really out of balance, and even the difficulty of this with some of the later levels, especially the last level, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The original Jumpman had a stage or 2 called Figurates, and it was basically the same concept as this. Every bomb adds or eliminates a part of the existing board, usually in a pretty inconvenient sort of spot. So you have to learn the board ahead of time and figure out the best path and the order to get the bombs. I got that 1 bomb by accident because I was trying to avoid the bullet, and I didn't do a good job of that because that 1 bomb is supposed to be one of the final 3. I forget if it was me or if it was my brother that figured out that you can finish the stage by deliberately jumping off of the top and then catching the last 3 bombs in a free fall, which is great because you don't lose a life, and if a bullet happens to get in your path while you're free falling, it doesn't stray your free fall path, and it's just kind of silly to deliberately suicide jump and still win the stage without losing a life. Walls is another pretty straightforward level, again because the designers decided that the whole wall idea was too difficult already, so they didn't add any bullets to the mix. It's not as boring as ladders, I suppose, because the walls are never completely the same, since they slowly appear based on when you pick up the bombs, and also the direction that they travel is at random. Even so, it would be kind of cool if maybe there were some bullets that were added to the mix, or maybe some fire, or moving ladders, or maybe some Hellstones. Yeah, maybe not.